All right. So super exciting. Today we have Danielle here, and so glad she could join me. And we're going to talk about actually water. And this is a
Mhm.
big, big topic. Not enough people talk about it. Not enough people, I guess, understand it and how important
Agree.
water is for us. Like we're like what, 70, 75% water, whatever it is.
Mhm.
We get a ton of our minerals and like nutrients, not nutrients, minerals from water, and we get a ton of like necessary things back. But this kind
Agree.
of unknown about tap water, bottled water, everything in between, filtration systems. So yeah, Danielle is
Yes.
here to educate us about her water filtration system that she uses herself, her personal story, how it helps her
Yeah.
and her family.
Yes.
And yeah, so take it away, introduce yourself, tell us your backstory, all of the things.
Okay. My name is Danielle Gray, and I just started my business about, let's say, 6 or 7 months ago. It's a completely online business, and it's mostly through Facebook. And I also have a 9 to 5. I work in mental health, so I'm still doing that as well. Um, but yeah, I got into this business based on at first just wanting extra income. I mean, who doesn't want extra income in this day and age?
This
Um,
side.
so yeah. And so that's kind of what caught my eye. They have a great compensation plan and everything. So that's initially kind of what got me interested. And then I found out what the product was. And one of the amazing things is you're not just kind of selling the product to other people like clothing stuff or makeup. You actually purchase the product, which is the filtration system, and you get to use it. So you get to find out how amazing changing your water is, which I had no clue going in. Like, I'm not 80s kid that's like, drink out of the hose, you're fine. It's not a big deal.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think we talked before too, and I believe water has changed over the years. I mean, like I said, when, we were growing up, the water then is not the water we have coming out of our taps now.
Even the
Absolutely.
water today is not the water from 10 years ago. Like they keep
Right.
adding more and more stuff. And that's the thing I think people don't realize all the additives that are in our water. Like to make it
Mhm.
pH 7, like to make it neutral, they just
Yes.
add chlorine and
Yeah.
also to disinfect it. So they just dump a bunch of chemicals in. And so people are like, oh, the pH is neutral. That's great. No, no, no. That's like literally just drinking a bunch of pH neutral poison. Really.
Exactly. Yeah, and I just watched a video today, where it was comparing our water filtration system to Aquafina and Fuji water, and then there was like an alkaline water, and then like soda and Gatorade. Yeah, and it was testing the pH, and soda and Gatorade are so acidic and so terrible for you. And then even just the bottled water was really acidic. And even the alkaline or the alkalized water, it had all these chemicals, like you said, and it was only alkalized for a short period of time. Like as soon as he blew air into it or put air into the water, it just immediately went away. Like it wasn't alkaline water anymore. Like the pH just went away. So they're telling you you have this, you know, high pH water when, yeah, in a plastic bottle. And what we've always been told with our product is it's a filtration system, it's ionized, and it connects to your faucet, but you have to store it in specific containers. Water's not meant to be stored in plastic. It
I mean,
doesn't,
truly, nothing is meant to be stored in plastic, really.
right? Yes.
Yeah, 100%. I know people kind of would joke around bougie, those of us that get the glass water bottles to walk around with and stuff, but
Right.
really, yeah, there's a purpose for that. We're not just,
Mhm.
crazy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so, and a lot of the water I found out in the same video too is a lot of the bottled water, you don't get it for 4 months, 6 months, a year after it's been put in that bottle. So, and who knows what temperature those bottles are at. It's crazy. And so we're told that with our filtration system, so if you wanted to maybe, take it on the road with you, and obviously you can't take it with you, it's connected to your faucet, you have to put it in either a glass or a stainless steel um, cup, and it only lasts for 72 hours. So all these bottled waters that say, oh yeah, we're the same as that, absolutely not true. Just
Well, yeah, people need to also understand like Dasani water is tap water out of Ontario.
right.
So it's bottled. Yeah, like literally, it's in a bottle.
Mhm.
That's it. But people have this, oh, it's bottled, it's better.
Right.
No, it's convenient. Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's
And it's
really about,
expensive.
yes,
So
like was it
expensive.
$5 or $6 now, something
Mhm.
for
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
we have
it's
these charts that do the math. It's like you buy one filtration unit and it lasts you, I mean, I've known people that have had these things for 30, 35 years. I haven't had mine that long, but they will last that long. And you have that one-time purchase and then filters, every 6 months. And that price comparison to buying bottled water that whole time for 25 years, you spend like $107,000 on bottled water. And the other, I think, was like maybe 20,000 or something, like totally
yeah,
minute amount in comparison. I'm just like, that is crazy. But people don't think about the long term. They're like, oh, I'm thirsty and I don't have water. I'm just gonna buy this bottled water and not even think about it.
yep,
So it's, for one, expensive, and then for two, it's not healthy either.
yep.
And
Well, and people, sorry.
no, go ahead.
I say, and people need to remember too, plastic bottles. Like again, they have is there the BH or what do they call it? BHP?
BP, yeah, BPA
Something
maybe
BPA,
something.
that's what it is. Yeah, BPA, all these other chemicals, like there's been a ton of studies now that say like if you put your food in a plastic container in the microwave, that plastic literally starts disintegrating and
Yeah,
all the chemicals leach into your food. So you're literally eating pieces of this plastic. But the
right.
water's the same, especially if you're in, like you said, what's that temperature been at? What has that plastic, changes it's gone through that's leaching stuff into your water? Like it, don't get me wrong, I do love plastic, time and a place for,
Right,
laptops
exactly. It's
made out of,
convenient. Yes.
right? All these, my shoes, I'm sure it's got plastic in there somewhere, but
Oh, yeah.
we don't want to eat it. Like we shouldn't be eating it. So if we don't want
No.
to eat it, why are we storing things we eat and drink in it? I know,
And for
right?
long periods of time.
That's it.
It's
Yeah.
one thing like to put your leftovers and some Tupperware in your fridge for a couple of days. Don't heat up, don't heat up the plastic with your food in it. But yeah, I get that, like a storage container for a short period of time. But we're
Yeah.
putting water and other things in this, and it's sitting for months to a year before you even get to it.
Yeah.
It's, yeah, kind of grosses you out. Um, But I'd like to say about our filtration system, it hydrates the ionization that happens in the process, and the filtration of the water helps hydrate your body. So you can select the pH. So we have a setting on it that's called Beauty. So it's 6.0, so it's the same pH as your skin. And so it actually is absorbed in your skin, I don't know how many times more than just regular tap water, but it's because it's the same pH as your skin, it absorbs so much more. So there's a shower unit that we have that you can connect to your shower. So you are getting that water absorbed through your skin, not necessarily just drinking it as well,
And
which
that's
is
the other
amazing.
thing people forget is we do absorb things through our skin. People think like it is a
Mhm.
barrier, but we still absorb
Right.
things. And that's
Yeah.
it. So when we're showering and we're taking these, lovely hot baths, which don't get me wrong, I love good self-care. I highly promote it in
Exactly.
this vat of chlorine, chemical disgustingness. We're absorbing all of that. So
Exactly.
I think that's so important to have that shower unit or the tub unit or whatever,
Mhm.
attach it. I don't say necessarily you have to attach it to everything, but just these
No.
like, yeah, little food for thoughts of, how else, I guess all these little ways we're poisoning ourselves.
Right. And it helps with dry skin. So, I mean, I don't know about you, but a lot of places we live, that dries out our skin. The tap water that comes out of our showers and out of our bathtub, I mean, we're, like you said, just soaking our body in this water that has all this chlorine in it, and it dries us out. So then we end up using more lotion and all this other stuff. Our hair's dry, our scalp's dry for people that have, dandruff. It can help with that. Um, and then it also, I think, helps with just like psoriasis, skin issues as well. You're adding more hydration to those areas than you normally would be, which is amazing. And it just feels good. It really does. It, like, rejuvenates you. I wouldn't have thought that when I heard somebody say that. I was like, it can't be that much different, right? Like, it's just a shower filter. Like, it's just filtering the water. A shower is a shower. No,
I feel
you
like
have to use it to like experience it.
yes. I think it's like when as a Canadian, the first time we come to Mexico and we just have this mass amount of humidity and we're like, like
Right.
you just feel like, oh my God, it's like what is this on my skin? Like, yeah, it really does make a big difference. Although, of course, not all of us can just, live in a tropical place where the
Right.
air magically helps moisturize us.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I live in a very, very dry climate. So everybody is always like, oh, dry skin, you need this lotion or this lotion. And like, no, you just really need to hydrate your body.
Yeah.
And
Well,
that's one of the ways you can do it.
exactly. And think about, I know for myself, coming from Alberta, in winter, I think we're like 10% humidity, maybe.
Right.
Obviously, yeah, the house, you humidify the house, it's not so bad. But every time you open the door, every time you leave, you're out shopping, it's just like sucking it out of you.
Mm-hmm.
How much money I used to spend on lotions. And then, of course, again, you're trying to get the non-toxic, paraben-free, because again, I don't want to absorb all this stuff. So you're spending $15 for this little vat of butter, and like it's just, and then you have to get something different for your face because your lovely body butter is just going to break you out in all this acne. And then
right.
and even shampoos, extra hydrating. Now I need like an oil wrap and the deep cleansing or
and then I'm not washing my hair as often because that's going to dry it out so much because the water sucks. So I'm like only washing my hair every like couple of days. And
yeah, it's funny how it really affects a ton of different things in our lives that we don't really ever realize, right?
Right. Yeah.
Well, and I will say, sorry.
Oh no, yeah. I was just say, when our skin is hydrated, we, look younger. I'm not saying it's a fountain of youth or anything like that, but I mean, when your skin is healthy and not dried out, you will look younger and feel better.
Yes. So tell us about this unit. So like you said, it has different settings and stuff, and a beauty setting. I mean, that sounds super fun. So yeah.
So it has different settings. So you can go up to 11.5 pH. So that is really, really alkaline. You can drink it in small amounts, but it would be more for like if you had a sore throat, you would kind of gargle with it and then drink the more like 9.0 is the drinking water, 9.5. And then they also have the neutral setting. So if you have medication that you take that needs water mixed with it, or for your kids when they get sick, usually have to mix it. They do have a neutral, so 7.0 pH level for stuff like that. And then you also can go all the way down to 2.5, which is very, very acidic. But it's amazing in healing and cleaning. So for those of you that don't like all the cleaning products with all the chemicals in them, it gets rid of E. coli, bacteria. You just put water into a glass bottle. Like I said, you got to be able to maintain that pH. So you would have to, refill it. But again, you're not buying a new bottle of, chemicals to spray on your countertops. So it can help during the cold and flu season. And then that also is something that you would use to wash your fruit and vegetables with. So the amount of pesticides and everything that comes off of your fruit and vegetables is drastically different when you soak them in 2.5 than just your regular tap water. So it
Yeah,
helps
I
in
think,
removing all that.
yeah, that alone would be well worth it, because even back in the day, I was looking into getting one of these, fruit sprays, and it's got a special solution. Well, it's like, again, it's $15-$20 for this little bottle that,
Mm-hmm.
if you eat a reasonable amount of fruit, especially if you have kids, that bottle's not
Yeah.
lasting that long,
Oh
right?
no. Yeah. And do you really get to see what it does?
Yeah.
At least with this, you can, put your grapes in a bowl of very acidic water and literally see all the crap in the water that comes off of your fruit. And then you can rinse them, with um, the 8.0 or the 7.0. Because again, you don't want to drink a lot of the very acidic pH water. And another amazing thing is we have a lot of, just kind of where we live, we have a lot of ranchers, a lot of farmers, and it's super amazing for your animals too. So we have bigger units that you can connect to, like a hose, like an outside hose. And they give it to animals, especially for people that do rodeo and, have performance animals. They're like, I don't even care so much about what my animal is eating, but knowing that they're getting this water that's giving them, so much energy and so good for them, like that's made a huge difference in the performance of their animals. And then I've also seen testimonies of people that use it, the 2.5 as like a spray for an injury. Being
Oh,
animals, they're outside. So if you have a dog, even, and they get injured, and even a human too. I mean, like if you get a cut or a scrape, you spray that 2.5 on the cut and scrape. It's gonna again remove the bacteria, from the wound. And I've seen pictures of how just wounds on an animal, even within days, it's just remarkable how much it's cleaned up. They don't go to the vet, they don't have to get meds or, a cream, to put on it. They just use the water
isn't that
and it helps
interesting?
with healing. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's
amazing.
very interesting. Well, and as a side note about the animals, it's funny because I grew up in this small town,
Hmm.
and we had well water for the first, I don't know how many years we lived there. And then at one point they switched over to tap water from the city. And wouldn't you know, about 5 years after that, all of our dogs started getting cancer, and everyone
Hmm.
was trying to put all their dogs down because we all gave tap water, because why not? It's
Right.
safe, right?
Yeah.
No one ever had an issue with cancer in their animals and their pets before we switched to the city tap water.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's so sad. But yeah, they have the bigger units, like I said, for livestock.
yeah,
Um, we have dogs, and so we give our dogs it from just from the faucet, which the machine's connected to, so they're getting that. We make sure to have stainless steel, metal bowls for their water, which is not
yes,
hard to find.
yeah.
But
Every pet store has them.
yep, exactly. And then you just make sure you change it. Like I said, it's only good for 72 hours, so you just make sure that you're changing their water. More often than not, they're drinking it quicker than that. And so you're changing it. But yeah, just it's gonna have the same healing properties and the same absorption in animals as well. And a lot of people don't really think about that unless you're kind of like that's your lifestyle or that's your business. Animals are a really important part of that if that's how you make your money. And so being able to provide this water for them as well is amazing. A lot of people will take it with them, on the road in their horse trailers and stuff. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, especially like you said, a lot of those, even you have your prize bull or whatever it is. Like you have all these
Mhm.
fairs, all these competitions with, many types of livestock. So yeah, that would be really, really useful.
Mhm.
And I
Yeah.
know for those of us where the having dogs has become like they're even designing cars, to fit your dog, and houses with special little doors and
Right.
sleep air, right? So dogs are pretty,
Oh,
pretty big part of our lives now. And
yeah,
honestly, one of those for a lot of us, it's, well, if I wouldn't put it in my body, why would I give it to my dog?
exactly.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Why would you give it to your animal? Exactly. Yeah, and especially like you were saying too, where nobody really realized that these, animals are getting cancer all of a sudden and they were drinking the tap water. I'd like to know even, I know that the human is, we're not lasting as long. We're dying sooner. You know, I'm guarantee it's probably the same for our animals too. They're probably not living as long either. And I think it has a lot to do with what we put in our bodies, our environment. And we really need to be more aware. Like, I didn't have any clue, didn't even think about it until I started researching this and looking into this business. And I'm like, okay, yes, I went into it wanting more income, but then once I got the product and started using it and found out more about what it can do and how healthy it is, I'm like, I will never go back. I'll never get rid of it.
Yeah,
Absolutely
right.
not. Like, I'm gonna be that snob that's like, well, if it's not my filtered water, I don't want it. Like, don't give me your bottled water. I don't want that.
Well, and that's it. And it's funny because you come to the point where it's just like, no, my health matters. And it's okay. I
Mhm.
brought my own, I have my own bottled water. Like, don't mean to be a snob, but I'm
Yeah.
good. Or, I mean, not that it's a better choice, but I have actually drank juice instead of someone's like homemade lemonade because I'm like, oh, you just made that with tap water. Right? And honestly, I had a good excuse. I'm actually allergic to chlorine. So I'm like, oh, there's a lot of chlorine in tap water. I'm sorry. I can't drink that because of my allergy. So it was a good little,
Nice.
I don't know if anyone else wants to use that.
Right. I like
Yeah.
it.
Well, and
Well,
it's funny because, sorry.
no, go ahead.
I see. It's funny because most of the time the person would be like, oh, really? And I'm like,
Mhm.
yes, you didn't know that? Like,
Yeah.
so that's, and part of the reason I love doing these interviews is because I find a lot of us who thinks about water in a day. So getting this knowledge out there, educating people, like I know in America, love them or hate them or whatever, but
Mhm.
RFK with this Make America Healthy Again. I don't know a whole heap. I'm Canadian. I don't pay attention to America
Right.
so much, but
Yep.
anything to make us healthy, I'm pretty on board with. And I think
Mhm.
I know he was talking about fluoride. So I feel like we're going to start having this good revolution of people being like,
Mhm.
holy crap, that's in my food. And then they can watch a video and like this and be like, holy crap. Yeah, I need to start looking into all this and really
Right.
get this
Oh, yeah.
train moving. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think people are kind of getting better about moving away from the bottled water. I mean, for one, like we said before, I mean, they cost like $5 or $6, which is ridiculous. So then people are going to, the water jug that you see at the doctor's office, like the big jug, thinking, okay, well, that saves me way more money, and it's got to be just as good as the bottled water. No, no, it's not. Just because it comes from this company and it's in this big container and your doctor's office has it, do you really know what water you're getting? They don't
Yep.
tell you that.
Well, and that's it. And I know for us living in Mexico, bottled water is a way of life. The tap water is not drinkable.
Right.
So we have to get the big ones. And we have a refill station close by that has an alkaline option, right?
Oh,
But
nice. Okay.
it is nice. But I asked the boyfriend because the water, we get it delivered. And of course, it's 25 pesos to refill alkaline, and it's 52 to get the delivery of the actual water. But it's natural spring fed water. And
Okay.
it does taste like it. I mean, who knows? He could be
Yeah.
lying to us, but I'm like, I know that's pH 8. And I asked my boyfriend, I'm like, but how do they alkaline it? We don't know what's in it. What if it's just a bunch
Mhm.
of chemicals? So even though it costs us more, I'm like, I kind of like, I don't mind refilling every once in a while and just hoping it's okay. But I'm
Right.
like, if this is spring, at least we know. At least we know it's
Yeah.
spring water. And
It's
so,
definitely
yeah,
gonna be better than any kind of tap water for sure. Like, if
yeah.
those are your only options, definitely. But
And
yeah, and then of course they come in those plastic containers, and it's like, okay, well, we know that you can't keep a pH that level in plastic. It doesn't work because you can only keep it that pH in stainless steel and glass for up to 72 hours. Like, that's the most you're gonna get, no matter what. So plastic, yeah, no, it's not gonna stay
I know it
alkaline.
is pretty funny because we've pH tested both of them and they all come out 7 anyway. So I'm like,
Right. Well, then, like I was saying, that video I watched where took a straw and blew water into it. So it did register as alkaline. It was the alkaline bottled water. So in the container, which doesn't make sense to me because it's a plastic bottle, but they add all these chemicals to it. Like you'll see on
But
the
if it's
ingredients.
chemical, it's going to probably stay alkaline because it's,
Yeah,
yeah.
but as soon as he blew air into it, the alkalinity just completely changed. But the water from our filtration system, he was like blowing air through the straw and it like twice as long as the other bottled water that was alkaline, and it stayed the same.
Isn't
Yeah.
that interesting?
Yeah, it's a really good video. I learned a lot about the different water, and then like I said, soda and stuff. And now I'm like, I don't ever want to drink another soda in my life.
Yeah,
It's so
I am
acidic.
blessed. Yeah, I'm blessed that I actually don't like fizzy. It bothers me, so I've never liked pop ever. But yeah, it's so funny because even here, like if we see someone holding a bottle of water, that's exceptional. Everyone here drinks pop. And part of it is because a lot of Mexico, everyone wants to be like an American, and all Americans drink
Oh, yeah.
pop. I
So
know,
much
even
soda.
my mom. Yeah, and well, I switched to diet, and I'm like, it's
No,
so
it's
much worse,
worse.
actually. It's
It
so much
is
worse.
so
And
much worse.
people, yeah, to try and understand again the acidity, what it does to our bodies, and the alkaline. As we kind of had our little pre-chat before, diseases cannot exist in an alkaline environment. They cannot. It's literally impossible. But for those people like me who are pretty big carnivores, red meat is very acidic. So it's trying to find, and that's why drinking alkaline and doing everything else to pull up that pH of our body is so, so important.
And that's what he was saying in the video. You know, it takes so much of the filtered water to counteract how acidic that soda is. It's just insane.
Yeah, because I think soda's at what, 5 pH or 4?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah,
because it was like a yellow on the scale. So yeah, I would say about 5 or 4.
I want to say it's I mean it's not quite as terrible as battery acid, but it's actually only like 2 points off or something. It's shockingly close.
Right. Yeah. Ridiculous. And then I was gonna mention too, I was thinking a ton of us drink tea, coffee, using tap water for that. You feel bloated after you drink it. If you use the filtered alkaline water for your tea and coffee, that will go away because the added pH will help reduce inflammation. So a ton of people that have, Crohn's disease, gout. I've heard testimonies of rheumatoid arthritis where you wake up and you can't even put your wedding ring on because your fingers are so swollen. My mentor, actually, that got me started in the business, she's had that. And she's like, ever since I started drinking this water, she's like, I haven't woke up not one day, with that problem. Like it just reduces all that inflammation.
Well, and fun fact for people watching, the new studies have come out and said that heart disease is not caused by cholesterol or, fat in the horrible animals we eat. Heart disease and heart problems like arteries clogging are caused by inflammation.
Yeah.
So pretty much at this point, from all the research I've done, you can almost boil anything that goes wrong in our bodies, including the heart disease, everything comes down to inflammation.
Yeah.
And here we have a system that can literally, I'm not going to say get rid of it because I haven't seen the studies or whatever, but it sounds like if not get rid of it, drastically reduce it to minimal amounts. Like that is huge.
It is huge. And I mean, we're getting more and more testimonies from folks that, we have PubMed articles, but we're also getting testimonies from our own team. Like another mentor I have, one of his really good friends that joined, her mom had I think it was like a thyroid cancer. And so she was, getting ready to schedule surgery for it. Well, her daughter had gotten into this business, got the water filters, started giving her mom this. They're like, hey, you've got cancer, you're going through the surgery. I want to give you the healthiest thing possible. We're doing anything, anything and everything that'll help you, I'm going to give it to you. So she starts drinking the water for a couple months. She goes in for like her pre-op, and they do another test, and they're like, you don't need surgery. Like, it's gone. And I'm not saying that cures cancer. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying these are the testimonies that we're hearing from real people, real life people that we know, that I can see and talk to just like you. These are the testimonies they're giving about their own stories, like their own life. Like, it's so incredible.
And that is just the point where, like, when I say no disease, that includes cancer. Tumors can't grow, cancers can't grow. Nothing abnormal can exist in your body if it's alkaline. So literally, yeah, I do believe that if you could, again, I'm a severe carnivore, so I don't know what my body sits at necessarily. Actually, I did used to test myself, and I was at about a 6.5 to a 7. So I was doing, anyway, my story is another story, but if you can keep yourself 7 or above, nothing, I truly believe you're not going to get cancer. You're not going to have tumors. You're not going to, you're
not going to get sick. I mean, so many people, especially at least in our area recently, it's like the flu, or maybe it's COVID. I don't know. I think it's a lot of flu. And then you have bronchitis, pneumonia. I mean, that's going around. And some of those illnesses, especially for our elderly community, can kill you.
Oh, absolutely. Well, and that's such a good point too, because I think as I'm obviously getting over a cold myself, which I call my sugar Christmas hangover, is I did notice in December, the more, even though they were homemade cookies, I wanted to keep, some of them are traditional. So there is it's German vanilla sugar. So it's processed, comes in its little package. And I wanted to keep the recipe authentic. So I used this processed sugar. And the more cookies I ate, the more stuffy I was the next day. So again, I like it. Then I didn't eat cookies for a day or two. Everything cleared up. I ate some more cookies. Everything stuffed up. So I did my trial and error. And 100%, I do believe there's a correlation for sure. And then, of course, what really got me is we have January 6th. It's called King's Day here. And I know in Canada, we call it Epiphany Day, when the 3 kings actually met baby Jesus and gave him all his gifts and stuff. So it's called King's Cake. And I had 2 of my friends bring me these big pieces. And I'd done so well in December. I haven't really gained. I gained just a couple of pounds, nothing crazy. So I'm like, such sugar.
All the sugar.
And I'm like, I wonder why and how I got sick. Because that's another thing. Processed foods in general are terrible, but processed sugar, that is, again, that has a very acidic effect on our bodies. And people don't really realize, we're eating the treats. And I am a bit of a cookie snob myself. Generally, I try and make everything with, sugar, honey, maple syrup, like keep it all natural. And so you go to your friend's house and you eat all the treats, you eat the, but what are they making it with? Even though it's homemade, so these are all like little foods for thoughts. But wouldn't it be great? You go to someone's Christmas party, you eat the things, you enjoy yourself, and you come home, and just once a day for 3 days, you take a little 11 pH little shot just to rebalance yourself.
Exactly. And that's what they recommend, if you're starting to get sick or sore throat. My mentor that told me, the one that had the inflammation in her hand, she's like, my kids, they come home from school and they're just like, oh, my stomach hurts, Mom, like I'm gonna puke. She's like, here, gives them a shot of that. And she's like, I swear by it. Because every time the next day they're completely fine. She's like, I swear by it. Like, it's working for our family. She's like, I don't know about anybody else, but it's working. Like, so I'm just going to keep doing it.
Well, and that's it. And it is good to hear all the testimonials, obviously, but it really is the proof when you try it.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure. So actually, just having mentioned that, is there like a trial period, or it's just you just have to buy the unit and call her a day?
And no, there is definitely a refund period. So if you get the unit and you don't like it for some reason, yes, there is a warranty on it. So you can, send it back. But a lot of us too suggest trying to find somebody in your area that maybe has it. And so we do a lot of promoting of, okay, where are you at? Let me find somebody close to you because there's 1,400 of us worldwide. We sell it worldwide, and at least that's just our team. So there's other teams too, but we would just internally reach out to our team. And we're expected to grow by like 2,000 more people just this
Oh,
year.
wow.
Like that's the estimation from our higher ups. So we would just reach out to our team members and be like, hey, who's in this area? Can you bring this person some of your water? And we've had a ton of people do that for family members. They get the filtration system and they have, an elderly parent or they know somebody that's sick and they'll start bringing them the water too. So we try to kind of go that route too, but you do definitely have, there's a warranty on it and a refund, time period too. So
Oh,
that's
that's
always
good.
an option.
I
Yeah,
think it's one of those, most people never return it, but they just like knowing they have the option.
exactly. Yep. Because I get it. It's like, oh, do I really need this? Like, I was that same person. The water can't be that bad. Does it really matter? Is it really going to make me feel different? And then you get the machines, you get them hooked up, and you start drinking it daily, and you start showering in the water. And it really is amazing, the change that you feel. And then just research too, and finding out even more information that you didn't even know at the beginning is amazing on how healthy it is.
So just thinking, is it easy to unattach if you say move houses or something?
Yes. Yep. It just connects, to your faucet. And then I know we struggled a little bit because we had bought a new sink and faucet because we had just moved like a few months prior to me starting this business. And so we had, bought the sink and faucet knowing that we were going to get rid of our old one. And of course, the sink and faucet that we bought didn't really work with the attachment of the machine. But there's one of our mentors I reached out to and I was like, hey, how can I get this set up without losing the faucet that I already have? Like, I like the look of it, I was updating everything. I don't want to, remove that or get something different. And he was like, oh yeah, this is how you can set it up. He showed me a picture of his. He told me how he did it. So it's really simple. And if you have any issues, I mean, you can reach out to anybody. We have videos on how to set them up. And like I said, mentors that will talk you through it. If you're not really that gadgety, I had to have my dad help me because I was like, I don't know how to do this. The shower one is probably the easiest, I would say. The faucet ones are a little bit different because you have to just use different, what I want to say, I don't know, pieces to connect it, I guess. I don't know the names of them. Like I said, I'm not that kind of person, but yeah, they're not too hard. And if you can't find that it's working right, like I said, we're always available, our whole team, and we help you out.
Oh, perfect. Good support is, very, very important. So that is awesome. And then, because we were talking about like obviously all this garbage that's in the tap water. So I assume then it doesn't just alkalize, it removes all that nasty stuff, the chlorine, the fluoride, the
Yes, so
bromine.
that it has the filter too. Yep. So there's the filters attached to it that does remove all of that. And then we have a list too. So if anybody wants more information, it has a list of exactly what it removes.
Oh, perfect. And then the filter in there, is that something that has to be replaced every so often?
Yep. So that's they say it's like every 1,500 gallons. So depending on your household,
Like
who knows, right?
Gallons?
Exactly. Who tracks their gallons? Who knows? But I've heard from my team that it's typically around 6 months. So, like, if you have maybe, a family of 6 people, you might be doing it more like the 4 month range. We have a family of 3, so smaller. So I'm, going about the 3 month range. And then there's cleaning. You've got to go do some cleaning, but it's super simple, and you only have to do it every couple months. And the filters are very reasonable. They're like around $100, $75 to $100. So they're pretty reasonable. And like I said, you only should have to, buy them twice a year, maybe a little bit more often. So.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. And that, I think that's pretty, any sort of reasonable, decent filtration system, you're going to look at least $100 for replacement filters anyways. And they're usually about every 6 months. So that's pretty
the
standard.
shower ones. Yeah, the shower ones I think a little bit more, but I think it lasts longer. So.
Well, and yeah, I would think so, because really you compare to what you use at your kitchen sink, washing dishes, like all the cooking, cleaning, drinking, and then your shower. What's that, 5-10 minutes? Like,
right. Yeah. Exactly. Now, if you have a lot of baths, you might be going through that 1,500 gallons pretty quickly.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I've heard about some people with their long showers. I'm like, me and my boyfriend both, 5 minutes in and out. We're just like,
right.
What else are we doing in here? Come on. But
yeah, exactly.
I prefer to get to bed and read than sit in the shower and just enjoy the steam, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, that's really, really good. So, because I think the filtration, again, the number one, even they were just talking about, I was listening to a video talking about our pineal gland, which is what calcifies with all the fluoride. And that's pretty much what allows us to be creative and kind of really, I don't want to get too woo-woo. I don't know how else to put it, like tap into our higher self. It's literally where the third eye, I think someone said, yeah. And in alligators, or no, crocodiles, their pineal gland literally has a cornea on it.
Oh, yeah. Great. So is that where that term came from?
I'm not sure. That was new to me, but I'm like, that is interesting though. Like, and it affects like our IQ when that calcifies, or our Q goes down, our thought process goes down. Like, so many things go down. And you think about our kids, like they're talking about the IQ of American children has dropped, I think 14% or 14 points already in the past couple of decades. Like, and I really believe like this could all be to fluoride in the water and the calcification of that poor little pineal gland.
Right.
Isn't that crazy?
Oh, that's crazy.
So you just think about, take out the chlorine, chloride, bromide, and whatever else they put in there, and just think even just the fluoride alone is, I know, again, getting back to the RFK, there's one state already for sure that said they were going to ban fluoride in tap water, but this is bureaucracy. Does that happen next, like this year? Does that happen 10 years from now? Like,
right.
Yeah.
Well, and a lot of people don't even think to ask. Like when I moved back to my hometown, I knew in the town that I was in if they had fluoride. But I came back here and asked the pharmacy, I asked, like, do you guys have fluoride? They were like, oh, I don't know. That's a good question. I'm like, how do people not know these things?
And it's funny because even my boyfriend's cousin, she's a dental, not a hygienist, an assistant, maybe dental assistant. And she has been trained, or sometimes we like to say brainwashed. Fluoride is good for your teeth. You should have it in drinking water because it's good for your teeth. So she is so pro fluoride, even though we've had these conversations. But until she sees some sort of research, and even then she's like, but my schooling has taught me that it's good for you. So it really is this kind of, I don't want to say battle. That's not the right word, but people just don't give it a second thought because, okay, fluoride, whatever. Yeah, we give that to our kids at the dentist. Like, obviously.
It's hard. Yeah, I think it's really hard to get rid of maybe generational wisdom, maybe, or and including educational wisdom that we've been told, somebody that we look up to, that we think is, they're the expert in this field, or even when we're younger, we look up to our parents, our grandparents, a lot of times, those are words of truth to us, and we hold on to those, even though something contradictory is staring us right in the face. it's really
Yes.
hard to change those beliefs.
Yep. And I know that because even just trying to get my mom to stop eating margarine has been the most uphill battle of my life. Just margarine. That's it. Just go to butter, mom.
Just
Please.
one thing.
Just one thing.
Just one thing.
I think the other thing too is why people should really pay more attention is we really don't know what's in our water. We trust that it's safe, but I will never forget going to a small town where my boyfriend's from, Athabasca, and it had this notice on the bulletin board of, we've heard your concerns about the levels of arsenic in the tap water. Rest assured, they are perfectly safe levels. And I'm like, what is a safe level of arsenic?
I remember us talking about that. Yes. I mean, they'll post things like that in, our local paper, like, oh, your water was tested. This is what we found, but they're under, the levels that they're supposed to be. And I'm like, but should any of that be in the water? Like, really, we don't really want any of those things, whether it's a safe level or not.
Yes. And it's funny because they did this when I watched a video on this, and they do these safe amounts based on people that drink like 4 cups a day or something. Not thinking like how much of this builds up in our system. What about those of us drinking the coffee, the teas, the extra hydration? Maybe you work out, you're a runner, you drink 5 times the amount of other people. Like,
Right.
Are we no longer safe if we drink extra water? Like, right? So I'm like,
and why aren't you telling us this?
well, literally, I'm like, I feel like that should be like you buy a house and there should be a list of here's everything in your local water. Like, yeah. So just so important to get it out there that not only in the food, but in the water. Like, even again, I love my mom. I do, but she still eats cereal every morning and she's like, but it's bran buds. I'm like, but it's processed cereal, mom. Like, it's probably better of the other crap out there. But
right. It's not the sugar processed cereals,
right?
but still.
They're little buds of fiber, so I guarantee there's processed sugar in there, and there's other garbage to make it taste good because fiber doesn't taste good. So,
no.
Right?
Fiber's
So
terrible.
right? So just thinking about this, and even because I was watching another video on talking about the food industry and all the, they've come out and they now admit this red 3 is carcinogenic, and okay, we'll take it out of the foods. And it's like in all the cereals, it's in cough medicine, it's in vitamins, it's like it's in everything. And it's just like, yeah, for us to really realize just, I mean, water, food, just everything. Like, we just really need to, I don't want to say not trust people because that's also not fair, but just do research, talk to your neighbors, get to know like the area, get to know your food.
Yeah. And I think being open-minded to maybe being challenged on what you thought, like being open-minded to hear somebody else's opinion, or, hey, this is, what I've found. Instead of just immediately saying like, oh, that's a scam, you just want me to buy this, or you don't really believe this, or that's a phony website, or whatever. I think we just need to be more open to believing each other. And I think a reason ours works so well is we're giving our own testimony. Yes, there are PubMed articles. Yes, you can Google it, our filtration system and everything, but hear it right from us. Like, I'm a real person, like I will tell you my story, and I will have all these other people in my team tell you their story, so I think we just need to be kind of more open to that. And
and that's it. And again, like, how many videos are out there? And I think I'm gonna say it's just the hard part is because there's so much fake stuff, all these deep things, AI generated everything. I mean, even the people calling you on the phone are all robots now. And it really is difficult to trust that what you're seeing and hearing is actual truth, and it's authentic and real. And but I will definitely say I do have affiliate marketers as a lot of my friends and stuff, and they all say the same thing. Like, it's people think it's a scam just because they've never done it. So they don't understand it.
Mhm.
Yes. But again,
Mhm.
it's getting those testimonials and really talking to a human being. That's why,
Right.
again, I love stuff like this because, just two human beings chatting it out, talking about a product. You don't
Yes.
go to the website afterwards, but, you
No.
can see us, you can hear us, like watch the
Yep.
videos or whatever, but it's not just all promos and ads and
No. Yeah, it's about education and helping others, and that's another big part of our business. Yes, we're in it, it's a business, we're wanting to make money, but that's not what our driving force. Our driving force is to help others. Like,
yes,
we want to help other people and, help them financially do better and also help their health. We are doing it for other people because we care and we want others to do better as well. And that's, I think, hard for people to wrap their heads around. It's like, oh no, you seem scammy. And like you said, we've been, I think, just told ever since, the internet happened and everything. It's like, oh, you got to be so careful. You can't give your information out, or don't believe this because everybody's gonna try to scam you. And so I think we've kind of lost a little bit of that trust,
yeah.
like you said, with other people. So
Too good to be true. Yes.
right.
And that's why I love hearing that you said, like, people will go out and you'll find a local person and they can give you the water and be like, here, try it.
Yeah, just
Like,
try it.
here,
Yeah.
talk to this person. So, I mean, maybe you guys could be the world's best, most organized scammy system ever globally.
So organized.
Or this is just a good product that works. Yeah. And it's funny because similarly, so obviously I'm the stress and anxiety coach, and that's literally why I help people with their stress and anxiety, because I've been there, I've had the overwhelm, I don't anymore, and I want everyone else to not have it because it's such a better life. So
Exactly.
it's the same as you. I assume you see people with their illnesses, their sicknesses, their issues, and you're just like,
Let
try
me
my
help
water.
you.
Yeah, let me help you.
Yeah.
Yes. I know, as I used to, well, still massage casually, but as a massage therapist, anytime anyone would be like, oh, my back, I'd be like,
Mhm.
let me help you, please. And again,
Exactly.
it's not for the money, although we do need to eat and pay bills, but it's like, you don't have to walk in pain. You don't have to live in pain. So
I know.
I get it. I love it. And I hope people really understand it. It really just, it sounds cheesy, but it really does come from the heart. Like, you don't
It
have to
does.
worry about, tumors and cancers and putting your dog down from cancer and losing your prize
Mhm.
stud to tumors or diseases or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
you don't have to clean your house with toxic chemicals that you can't breathe in your bathroom after you clean it for 4 hours. Like,
Right. Or eat food that has all these chemicals all over it. Yeah, because even though it says it's organic,
yes,
there's
that is
probably still some bad stuff
that.
on it.
Absolutely. I did learn that. I'm a big fan of Costco, shop at Costco a lot. And I learned that all organic produce, if it comes across the border, as long as it's organic when they ship it, if they need to spray it because there's bugs at the border, they don't have to change the labels or tell you it's been sprayed with pesticides. You
Right.
just,
Ugh.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, which is also another promo for shop locally, everybody.
Exactly. For sure. Then you can guarantee it is actually organic. And yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or
I
just
think every
and wash your veggies or your fruit.
yeah.
I assume that works for veggies too, hey?
Mhm.
Everything?
Yeah, the video I watched, actually they used cherry tomatoes just for the video. But I mean, it's any of your fruits and vegetables, cucumbers, zucchini, grapes,
Oh,
apples.
lettuce.
Yeah,
No more
lettuce.
E. coli warnings from the lettuce
Mhm.
people.
Right? Yep.
Seriously.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. Where can people find you to either get more information, buy it, anything? Just get in touch with
So I'm on Facebook and Instagram, Danielle Gray, or you can just search my name. My account is not private; it's public. So you can reach out to me either on Facebook or Instagram, and I will message you back.
Perfect. And I will, for people who are watching this later, obviously the replays that get put out everywhere, I will put the links in the description or comments wherever I post this. So yeah, it'll be easy to find also.
Awesome.
Perfect. All right. Anything else? Any last little tidbits you want to add? Something we didn't cover already?
I think the last thing I'll just say is it's easy to be comfortable. And I think we tend to just like to sit in that comfort and not branch out. And so I just encourage people to break away, don't get so comfortable, and, really do your research and make changes in your life, because you will grow when you do that.
Absolutely. And I mean, really, what's more important, literally, what's more important than our health? Like, actually. So, yeah, I know people, will spend $5-10 on a Starbucks, but don't want to spend the $50 upgrading a filter or something. Like, it's really interesting.
It very much is. Yeah. They don't think about the longevity, just the right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me. And it was a pleasure.
Thank you for having me. Yes. And hopefully we can do this again in a while. Do kind of an update.
Yes. I've been meaning to do updates on a few different people, so I love it. Yes.
All right.